no one person, nobody can change the world. The only way the world changes is through politicians and nature. And we know at this moment in time how much politicians and nature are changing our world. But what you can do is focus on one area and you can change the world for the people in that area. And I'd like to think that's what the Meserani Project has done in the Meserani region. We've changed the world of the people here. So anybody who is thinking about doing something similar and thinking about seeing something somewhere in the world that they would like to support, to help or to change, my advice would be not to try to do something too big. Find an area, find a project, find a district or whatever that you can actually manage, that you can actually be successful at. And that's what we've done. We haven't been too ambitious, not to start with, but now it's got very big now. But yeah, find something that you can manage. Don't think that the job's too big. Don't think that it's too much of too big a challenge to go and change something. Choose something small to start with. Then if that goes well, then you can start developing it and make it bigger. Our sponsorship programme has obviously changed. Now that we've got Meserani Secondary School, we don't need to sponsor pupils to go to other schools in other areas. But we've come across another challenge. There are pupils in this school, many pupils, who don't have all the equipment that they need. They don't have simple things like a bowl, a cup, a spoon. We were watching pupils the other day having food, and some were having to share the bowl because they didn't have a bowl. They were sharing with somebody else. Some people don't have counter books. Some people don't have tracksuits, uniform, pens, school shoes, dictionaries. So many things that they don't have because of their home backgrounds. So we've started we call it sponsorship bundles. We started a sponsorship programme now whereby if somebody says, I would like to sponsor a pupil at this school, then the school identifies a pupil who doesn't have that equipment, doesn't have most of the equipment, and then if we can find a sponsor for them, and it only costs £100 to do that, then we can, the school identifies a pupil, we look at what they haven't got, then we go out and buy it, and then the pupil can make sure they can stay here for the full 4 years. Otherwise they face the risk of having to leave the school because they haven't got the necessary equipment. So yeah, this sponsorship bundle is an idea that came out from Middleborough Erasmus Rotary Club, and there's lots of different sponsorship bundles. There's one for sponsoring some trees, sponsor a set of textbooks, sponsor sanitary protection for a girl. So they're not as expensive as the big sponsorships to go to a secondary school in another area or to A-level or university, but it can have a big impact on this school and the pupils within the school. I think if anybody is considering starting a project, something totally different to what we've started, whatever the project is, I think you've got to have a deep interest in it. It's got to be something that's personal to you. It could be something that's from your own personal background or something that you've seen that has deeply affected you. It's no good trying to start a project or get involved in a project if you are not personally involved in it and you do not personally have a desire to do something. You've got to, I suppose, passion's a word that's used a lot. Sometimes it's used inappropriately, but yeah, you've got to have a passion for whatever that project is, and not to be too ambitious. Yep, not to be too ambitious. And if it's something that's in a different part of the world or something you're not personally experiencing, you've got to take advice of people who know what they're talking about. Yeah, don't try to impose your morals, your beliefs, whatever your religion is, or your personal background, whatever. Don't impose that on somebody who might be completely different to you. Got to respect other people's beliefs, religions, cultures, traditions. That's important. The most important thing is to want to do it. You've got to passionately want to do something. If you're not passionate about it, if you don't want to do it, it'll probably fizzle out. Yep. And like I said, the other thing is to take advice from people who know better than you do, what it's all about. My background is a secondary school teacher, a physical education teacher in the UK, and I was known as a disciplinarian. And eventually, when I got to the top of my career, I was a second master in a very, very large school, and I was in charge of discipline and behaviour. But what I was also known for was the pastoral side of things, because I firmly believe disciplining somebody doesn't change them as a person and their behaviour and their approach as much as rewarding them when something goes right, when they do actually do things positively. You can punish people all day long, yep, and it might not affect them, might not influence them, it might not impact on them. But if you can reward them, if you can make them feel that that's the right thing to do, because people are telling me that's the right, they're showing me that's the right thing to do, rewarding me for it, that will change them more. And to run something like a Meserani Project, which has got really, really big, you've got to be organised. You really have got to be organised and efficient. And sometimes you've got to be tough, because sometimes in the early days of this project, I found it quite emotional, and I had to be careful that my emotional behaviour did not affect my decisions. It's got to be done. You've got to think clinically. You've got to think efficiently and in an organisational way, and never let your emotions, never let your personal feelings that I like that person better than that person. This person is more pleasant and more well-mannered than that person. You've got to treat everybody equally. Yeah, that's really important as well. You must never have favourites, and everybody's got to see that. I'm worried about individual pupils and the challenges they face, and what we can do to help them to overcome those challenges. And it's changed me. I came from a poor background. My mother brought 5 of us up on a row. My stepfather was in prison. We would have no electricity, no gas. We struggled for food. So I never complained. I never thought we were poor. But too much now in the Western world, the civilised world, people expect too much. If they don't have the luxuries, they think they're poor. Education is so important. Education is the only thing that can bring people out of poverty. Yeah. Give them an education. Education is for life.